there was two, or one, I think it was two. I think there was two wrestling accounts. Yes, Beyond Wrestling, which is a YouTube channel, and AI Wrestling, nothing to do with Allen Iverson. Both got considered, were wrongfully categorized. We can throw these in post. YouTube categorized wrestling in the not advertiser friendly restricted mode category and killed off monetization. And they also CC'd Beyond Wrestling. Just to further illustrate how damaging this is, we would need to sell an extra 250 DVDs every month to make up the difference. And this has been an issue for with YouTube now for the last couple of months. You've seen a lot of, if you're on YouTube and you watch regularly and go to the main page, you've probably seen the more, some of the more very well-known YouTube channels. H3H3 has been talking about this for months. Matt Pat at Game Theorist has been talking about this for months. I think the Young Turks has been discussing some of it, but not to the extent that Ethan Klein has for H3H3, and as well as PewDiePie and JackSepticEye. I always forget which one it actually is. These are all people combined have 35 million subscribers. I mean, millions and millions of subscribers.
Well, PewDiePie on his own's got 50, right?
Yeah, PewDiePie on his own's got 50, but that was a really weird trend downward. Granted, if you listen to PewDiePie's thoughts about a lot of YouTube and the mainstream media has never, and I mean never, given PewDiePie a positive headline, ever. All they see it is condescending old man yells at kids on lawn. That's pretty much what the mainstream media makes. Yeah. That's what they make of PewDiePie.
Yeah, it's the same thing. It probably is the base of what most people still think of YouTube, regardless. Is like, these kids sitting in their own basement making this amount of money?
What do you call it? Just, first of all, YouTube TV is great, and I'm not saying that just because I work for a YouTube channel.
No, it's a game changer.
It's actually a game changer. It's pretty dope. But YouTube star, and I can't believe I'm blanking on her name now, just signed on to executive produce and I think host the show that will fill in now for the Comedy Central's The Nightly Show. It used to be Larry Wilmore's show. The one that follows The Daily Show is the YouTube star. He's going to get a Comedy Central gig for it. So yeah, there's a crossover eventually. A lot of people knew this. A lot of people knew this was coming at some point. But the problem with the YouTube monetization thing is that basically what happened is there was a couple, and I mean a couple of videos that were extremely racist or had to do with extreme hate speech, like Nazis burning American flags and actually spreading like Hitler's propaganda, and a Tide ad or something along those lines showed up on one of those videos. So what happened is they freaked out. YouTube freaked out, rightfully in a way, and so did the advertisers. So now what happened is they had to lead to what's called restricted mode. Restricted mode is just a very kind way of telling you your channel's dead, you will not make any money from it. Now, big, massive networks will survive this. They have manpower, they have the resources, they've built enough. But the ones that are, and a lot of people don't understand this, a lot of 500,000 subscriber YouTube channels, two of which that come off the top of my head are Mike Korzemba and Jock Slade Cousteau. I know for a fact that Jock does 98.9% of the work start to finish for that video. He doesn't have a team of 20 people. Well, that makes it seem like he has the production value of a team of 20 people.
Yeah, it's a very good job.
It's just him. Korzemba is just Korzemba. I'm pretty sure. I think he's got an editor or two, but I could be wrong about that. But if they get put on restricted mode because of maybe language or a thumbnail or a conversation that's about free speech but is tight, it has the words Al-Qaeda or ISIS in it, or anything to do with a political, what is it, misnormality? Or a conversation, they can take it and say, we are authoritarian when it comes to YouTube. YouTube monetization police say no more. You are now in restricted mode. You have to be whatever, 21 plus. Your videos will never cycle again through our search algorithm, and you won't be found. And it could happen, I mean, a pro wrestling channel. What, because it's violent?
Maybe because they said they were sports, Jason, and those YouTubers don't believe that they're a sport, and that's why they came out with it. But again, I'm not going to say too much on it. I also deal with the political spectrum, as you know, at the network, and do a lot of videos, and even now we're being restricted with the way we speak on certain of our videos. Some of the videos I specialize in doing are takedowns of other people, so sometimes I get a little bit outlandish with my Scottish critique, and that kind of goes with the theme of the video. So when you start to strip that away, then what does it become? You're kind of becoming the mainstream that I feel YouTube was set up to be a a kind of voice against, the way that you could have the freedom to go out and say what you wanted to say. Now, I get it, mistakes happen, and I get it. I just so happened to stumble across the YouTube section of the recent video I did on the main page. It was up on police brutality, and I looked through the comments, and man, there's some racist people out there. I get it. It's not an environment that is often welcoming to certain points of view.
The YouTube comment section? What would make you say that?
Jason, I know we've had that, and on sports, I get it, man, but Jesus Christ. It was literally hurting my soul. I was just looking, I was like, these people have this much hatred that they justify that amount of barbarity just to fuel their own narrative. So yeah, I get it. But again, that's why I've always, regardless of the clip, there was clips that I've done before when it comes to sports, and I say athletes should have the freedom to say what they want to say and not be restricted by their guidelines, such as the Kaepernick issue, such as NBA players wanting to speak out to what they believe. I also say that on Twitter, yes, you're going to get trolls, just block them. You shouldn't kick people off the platform. When it gets too extreme, yeah, but it's such a thin line that you start to kind of hinder free speech, and you play into this idea that, oh, us leftists are just trying to shut everyone up. No, we're just trying to shut up stupid, like ridiculous, falsified arguments, but we're not denying that you have a right to say it. So when YouTube starts to impose restrictions as well and prevent some of these channels that I think are vital to giving news and giving opinions on sports and everything else start to suffer, man, I think it's a dark day. And it's all because, there is people that will overstep the boundary, and there's people that will push their agenda to the no limits.
Again, and what does it fall back on, though? It's a theme for crossover into sports far too much. It falls back on money, man.
Yeah.
Just falls back on cash. It's all it always falls back on.
Because it's nice to fall back on. Like, you ever laid back on cash?
I just think there's a giant hypocrisy when they want to silence, or they want to, I'm sorry, not silence, they want to demonetize certain videos. And demonetizing, to a certain extent, is a form of censorship.
I agree. It's not silencing as if they can't do it, but it could take the right away if they can't continue to provide.
They can't live. That's some of these people, it's their livelihood. And look, that means you're gonna suppress the young YouTube creators that could become something big, who could be offering something great. Look, YouTube is a search engine. It's the second biggest search engine after Google.
Who bought YouTube.
But still, they're separate entities in a way that there's Google, and then there's YouTube, and then somewhere in a different universe, Bing exists, and I think Yahoo search. And I don't mean that rudely, I mean just comparatively, those two run the market. So YouTube's a search engine, which means just like Google, you're gonna find some extremely messed up things that definitely shouldn't have advertisements. Things like LiveLeak, where you can watch some really messed up videos that circulate through the internet. So unfortunately, with the demonetization issue, going 0 to 100 that fast about just demonetize anything that could be bad. You're YouTube, which means you have Google as your parent company, which means you have so many resources as one of the most valuable companies in the history of the world that you can devote a larger team, I would think, towards figuring out a better way to demonetize certain channels. It should never be, video, title, Al-Qaeda, can't have that, they might influence the children, because those same children can go turn on mainstream media and watch a police killing.
Yes.
They can watch that, and guess who's that's usually sponsored by? Places like Coke and Pepsi and Tide and the biggest brands in the world, who wouldn't dare pull their ads.
No doubt.
Wouldn't dare pull their ads.
Unless you're Bill O'Reilly, and then they start to put in earwax commercials.
That's a movie.
You need to remove your earwax.
Look, Cialis has to advertise somewhere, right?
All right, well, I know this has been a little bit of a digression, but I think it's important. So let us know what you guys think in the comment section below. All the stuff we discussed. Francis_Maxwell on Twitter, Jason Rubin 91. We'll see you guys soon.